We are live.
What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of the MMA Holics. Hope y'all are doing good on this Monday afternoon. Today we got the second episode. We were going to review the UFC Fight Night that just took place last Saturday. UFC Fight Night, Dariush versus Tsarukyan. Of course, I just want to say off the top. Well, first, before I even say that, gotta ask my man Nikki how he's doing. How you doing, Nick? You good, bro?
I'm doing good, bro. Trying to recover from a crazy night. Crazy night
Yeah,
on Saturday, not Sunday.
it was crazy, man. I was gonna say, like, in my opinion, that was low key one of the greatest fight nights of all time.
Hmm.
Just like, man, even how like the prelims delivered, all the way up until the main card, and all the main card fights like delivered in every single way, like every individual matchup, like. It was just a really entertaining card, man. It kind of felt like a pay per view, but there was no belt, especially with the fighters in the main event involved, like how high level they are and like their names and what they've done in the sport. And they were just a really good card in my opinion, but we're definitely going to get into that right now. And guys, yeah, so like just want to let you guys know off the top, we were definitely going to cover the main card fights. We'll do a couple prelims, but we're kind of rushed for time today, so we're definitely just going to cover what we can and get you guys what we already know what you're looking for. And yeah, man. So gonna go ahead and get into it. We had the main event of this fight night card. It was a pretty crazy result. I'm not gonna lie, man. This was pretty insane. First round knockout for Armin Tsarukyan over Beneil Dariush. Like, I said going in on the podcast, like, that Beneil's chin was like, like his honest the biggest hole that he's ever had,
Hmm.
like in his game, because like obviously we know like he's a good striker, he has good power in both hands, he has good spinning back fist, good body kicks. When he's able to set him up, when he's able to use good overhands, like how he utilized against Gamrot. But in this fight, man, I just think like the speed was the issue out the gate. And and Armin has power for sure. Like we saw the finish over Joel Alvarez, even though that was elbows via ground and pound. Still, like to be able to generate that force with the elbows, and we saw how much blood was coming out of Joel Alvarez's nose. Um, like we know how dangerous of an individual that Armin is, but to see him go in there and knock him out in 64 seconds, that's crazy, man. That was pretty crazy result. How'd you feel about it, man? Like, how'd you feel about it when you saw him hit the canvas like that?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even feel like a fight. It just happened way too quick. It wasn't like they walked in the cage and he just knocked him out. There was a minute. I don't remember what happened that whole minute. I thought it was just a feeling out process. So I'm just watching the fight, kind of just seeing two dudes move around the ring. Next thing you know, a knee comes up and the dude drops backwards. You're like, yo, he just got hit by a knee. And then you see the replay and it's like, oh, he didn't get hit by a knee. He got punched in the jaw. And it's like, we thought that Armin was going to be too much for Dariush, but like,
Right.
I didn't think like that. I thought he was going to outmuscle him and just jab him, hurt him. But then again, if you think back to Dariush's last fight with Charles, it's like he couldn't do nothing against Charles because of the length. But then
Hmm.
as soon as Charles started striking him, he just got wobbly right away. So I mean, yeah, maybe he is chinny at this point in his career. Maybe I don't know what he does. I have no clue what he. I mean, I hope he doesn't think that this should be the end. But maybe
Hmm.
the top. Maybe there is a really big division gap in multiple ways in that division with the champion and then the top contender being Charles, and maybe Armin could be in there.
Right.
And then is Justin in that conversation? Like there's much to be said. Like what happens now? Does Armin get what he wants? Does he get his title fight? I don't think he's next in line, but I think he's the best for Abu Dhabi if they're going to go back there. But if he wants Abu Dhabi, it's a risk fighting Justin. You know, that's a big
Nah,
risk.
I agree. I agree. I just think like with this, like man, with what happened, like Benil, like it was just, it's a really big setback loss for him, to be 34 years old, in the lightweight division. We already know in like the lower weight classes where you really got to have that speed, especially at the upper echelon of the lower weight classes. It can be to your detriment if you're going out there being like slower than these guys. And I just think it's going to be hard to really try to get back on that win streak after having 2 first-round knockouts like that, and even then, like the two first-round knockouts, like it's not Tuesday yet. We gotta wait for the rankings to come out. Arman was ranked number 8 going into this fight. He knocked out the number 4 guy, and I do think they will make him number 4. I don't think they're gonna
4
load.
or 5. Dariush might drop to 5 maybe.
Okay, because I was thinking, because Chandler's still number 5, so like, because Chandler
but Chandler's didn't get knocked out twice, he did get subbed, but
because see, like I was saying that, well, not yet, not that's a good point. I was just saying that, like, I think with Benil getting knocked out like that, like, I think they're not going to really mess around with the Arman. Like how sometimes they'll make a fighter like number 5 or number 6, like if they beat the number 4 guy. Like, I think, like, they're going to make him, like, dead set number 4.
Arman should be 4. That's
why, and, like, I was going to say, like, because, I was saying they weren't gonna move Chandler because the Conor fight. They gotta have that number 5 rank next to Chandler's name because they need Conor to get that. Literally, like he has to get that. And like we already know how they feel about Conor. Conor doesn't gotta have a win streak. As long as he has the top 5 rank next to his name, he can fight for the belt at literally any moment. And I just think with Michael, like like they see that as a pretty winnable matchup for Conor. Like out of all the top 5, all these dudes can, of course Michael can grapple, but I mean I think he'll choose to strike when it comes to Conor. He's gonna try to make that money, get that 50 G's on top of that red panty night, But going, of course, with this fight, I just think with man, you already know, like taking 1 loss in the UFC sets you back 2 years, something like that. Like it depends on the loss. Like, you've seen like some of these dudes fight for the belt coming off 2 wins, like when Colby lost the first Usman fight. He won 1 fight and they threw him right back in there for a belt, but
these 2 fights are bad. I mean, after these 2 fights, it's almost like the UFC has to feed you to somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have no option now. I mean, what's important to realize is there's not a single booked lightweight fight, but that doesn't mean Dariush could just fight Poirier. Poirier could say, I don't want to fight you. Why would I fight you? I want more money. And then if Poirier doesn't want to fight you, you're fighting someone under top 5.
Yeah.
You're supposed to like.
Because, see, like, I think that's what they're going to do with him anyway. Like, I think at the end, like how I mentioned earlier, like the age, he's 34 now. I really think they're going to come out here and try to feed him to somebody, man. Like, if Usman or Magomedov signed to the UFC right now, I think that would be. I think that would be his debut.
I got a good matchup. So hear this. What about Gamrot? Right, 2-fight win streak versus 2-fight losing streak. Right, Gamrot's on a 2 winning.
Well, yeah, they are
Turner and Fiziev.
I was gonna say because Gamrot and Benil just fought at 280, and Benil Benil beat his ass, to be quite honest.
Benil lost 2, Gamrot won 2, so that kind of sets up the perfect. Right?
I mean, like, yeah, they gotta have a rematch for sure. I was gonna say I wouldn't mind the Benil versus Turner. I wouldn't mind that at all too. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all too. Benil versus Jalen Turner. I wouldn't mind that at all. You feel me? They're trying to push a prospect. Jalen Turner's 28 years old. You feel me?
That's a good one.
And I do think they would definitely do that. Especially if he's ranked around like 7, 6. Oh yeah, man, they'll definitely try to put Turner up there.
And I saw on Twitter last night someone was saying the perfect matchup for Jalen Turner, stylistically, body type, and everything. Yeah. Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
Now there's a big skill gap, but I mean, those are the 2 biggest dudes in the division.
Nah, I get it.
I would love to see that fight eventually, but you can't really.
Yeah. I agree. I think we will. But yeah, I mean, even if
Charles goes down, I mean, he might not fight no more.
Yeah, nah.
He might be done.
Nah, you're right. I just feel like, man, that even like assessing the storyline in this matchup, everyone's behind Arman for a very, very long time. It was, he should have won the Gamrot fight, in my opinion. So he should have cracked the upper echelon a little while ago now, but they gave him another chance with this fight. He's in the top 5 now. He's in a whole other realm. We already know in terms of the lightweight division, when you're in the top 5 versus like the top 10, it's like 2 different like worlds of like, it's like Gaethje trying to fight RDA, when Gaethje's only on like pay-per-views. Gaethje hasn't done a fight night in years, and versus like RDA, like of course like RDA can do a fight night for sure. He actually did 272 versus Hanato Moicano, but
didn't RDA also fight against Vincent Luke?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luke K, and like that was a main event. You feel me?
Main event.
And like
isn't he at welter? I mean, he says he can make lightweight, but
yeah, I mean, like he's still in the rankings at lightweight, but we're gonna see what he decides to do. I know he's a little older, so I think he is assessing some career decisions right now.
But lightweight is one of those divisions where it's just different than the others. It's like. It's always been that way. Just the top of lightweight is just on another level.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Like, I agree. And I only even brought that up was because to say like it's like the star power. You feel me? And Armin's gonna like definitely. I think he's gonna take that leap, man. He's Armenian. He's Armenian, but I still think like, any of like, the Russians and Dagestanis, I do think they will still embrace him of his culture and how he carries himself and just like, the clique that he runs with and his fighting style, he's most definitely like, he can really do it all. I can't even call him a grappler. He can strike at a high level. He's fast, has good boxing. Like we all saw, crazy wrestling. Like we all know he was matching Islam in the scrambles in his debut when he was 22 years old. He's 27 now. So, and he literally just turned 27. So I think we all know, man, it's like, I'll say it on here. I do think it's pretty inevitable that he will get that belt. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not saying he'll even beat Islam. I think even if they were to fight and he were to lose,
but it's a worthy fight. We don't get a lot of people always try and criticize fights. This dude doesn't deserve it. I mean, Armin deserves it. And the most important thing, if you want a title fight, you got to be able to sell fights. And he has the haters. He has the haters now. So
for sure, definitely. Like the whole Bobby Green situation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, guys, like even when it comes to stuff like that, like I get it, guys. Like Bobby, like the ref. Of course, we're gonna talk about that literally in a couple of minutes. Yeah, we can do that now. But yeah, guys, that was this fight. It was a great main event. Shout out to Benil Dariush. We're gonna see what he decides to do. I hope he doesn't retire, but that was a bad loss. And yeah, man, I wish him nothing but the best. You feel me? But yeah, going into the co-main event that we were just discussing. Yeah, man, I'll ask you first how you felt about it. You can go ahead and give your opinion first, man. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen was just fighting perfect. I mean, those kicks were everything he needed to do. Bobby was closing the distance really well against him. I thought he was going to rock him multiple times. He just never got to it. But Jalen's kicks were crazy. Front kicks, question mark kick, everything. He was keeping his distance like he should to win the fight. And with Bobby, I mean, he was being a little cocky in that fight. It was annoying me a little bit. Like, okay, one shoulder shrug is cool. Every time you got kicked, you were shoulder shrugging. It's like you just got question mark kicked. What are you shoulder shrugging? So it kind of got me annoyed. And I seen some people saying that, maybe the ref was also thinking he's a little cocky. I don't think that's justifiable. We'll get into the stoppage in a little bit because right now I'm just talking about the fight overall. But Bobby looked good. I mean, besides the knockout, Bobby looked good too. He's fighting a long fighter. I mean, Jalen's a hard fight. Dan Hooker was stylistically good for him. So that's why Dan Hooker was able to win that fight. But Jalen's good, dude.
Right. Yeah, man. I thought it was a great performance, really, Jess, just really styled, the whole time. Was looking great, especially on the short notice. Like, he posted a picture. He weighed like 180 when he got the call, and he cut all that weight.
Didn't even make weight the first time.
Seriously, he had to go in the back, came back. Thank God for 1 pound allowances in non-title fights. That's why, when you hear them say championship weight, that shit's hard to do, it was really hard fight for Bobby. Once Jalen was able to find the range, Bobby was trying to get in there. You saw him trying to close the distance, against a longer opponent like he's supposed to. I just really thought The speed difference was definitely evident for Jalen Turner, and he knows how to use his weapons, man. Like I said, I think I said in the breakdown, like he's not a lanky guy that doesn't know how to use his reach and stuff. Like he knows how to do all that, man. Like his jab to his right cross is how he's stringing along to the body with the combinations, and like the kicks are just like really fast and like just really elite, man. He lost that Dan Hooker fight only because he gassed out, man. Like he just got tired, and then shout out to Dan Hooker. He's a warrior. His arm,
Dan gasses out, but he's still throwing.
And I'm saying his arm was broken, and he was still throwing. Like at that point, he deserved to win that fight, which is why he won it, you know. So shout out to Dan Hooker. And yeah, man, like that was just a really good performance for Jalen Turner. For Bobby Green, man, you know, he's 37 now. You know, he has great wins, bro. 31-15. You know, that's a lot of fights, man. This was a bad knockout, bad finish. You know, it wasn't, you know, of course he did get knocked out, but you know, he's not the ref. You know, he can't do the ref's job for him. He was already face down, and you know, there's nothing more the ref needs to see. Other than that, and you know, Jalen was doing his job too. You know, it's Jalen has to keep going until the ref stops the fight. You know, and Kerry Hatley, unfortunately, did not stop the fight until way later. You know, it was a really bad stoppage, one of the worst I've ever seen. I definitely will say that. I felt bad for Bobby. You know. Because you got to realize you're already out, you know, and like you're just like you're that concussion, just boom, boom, boom. Like that's just like seriously, you know. And props to Bobby for still taking the fight. He could have turned it down. You know, the short replacement, especially a tall, lanky guy like this. You know, shout out to Bobby for taking the fight. Not many people would have done it. I hope he doesn't retire. Like with Beneil, you know, both these guys took devastating knockouts on Saturday night. And like, yeah, man, I just really hope that he's able to bounce back. And I wish Bobby Green nothing but the best. Like, I do think they're gonna try to give him like probably to an up-and-comer his next fight. You know,
Paddy.
I mean, yeah,
if he gets the win,
yeah, man, that might be it.
Gatekeeper versus up-and-comer.
That might be it, man. Because like, you know, Paddy has to beat Tony, and like then like they're not gonna get Paddy like no killer, like they're not gonna get Paddy like no dude that's like on the 12-fight win streak, all knockouts. Like it's not gonna happen. Not saying that Paddy can't win, man. I think any fighter can win any fight once they step in that cage. You feel me? But it's just like, you know, based on what we've seen off Pimblett, especially coming off the Gordon result, you know, like the performance, I really think that'd be kind of a
it's a good test for him.
Fight, you know, like
he needs more tests.
It'd be like a very interesting fight for Paddy Pimblett. I think Bobby Green's still a very good boxer. He has good takedown defense. We know how we know how Paddy likes to grapple, but Paddy does have knockouts. You know, in the UFC, I think he does have a little bit of power in his hands as well. And I think off the pride, off Paddy's pride, he will most definitely strike. With Bobby Green, you feel me? And I think at the press conference they will talk a lot of trash.
That's
you know,
press conference.
Paddy will have a lot of ammo. Bobby just got knocked out. You feel me? But I think if Jalen Turner were to fight Paddy Pimblett, you know, that'd be a hard fight for Paddy Pimblett too. You know, so yeah, man. But again, like, yeah, you can really say that. So for Jalen Turner, I really would not mind the Beneil fight. Depending what Beneil likes to do, wants to do. Again, you know, I know he has. I think he just had I know he has one daughter. I know he had a second baby. I can't remember if it was another son, a son or another daughter. But I know he has a family, and I really hope, you know, he's all right, man. And I know, like, you know, I know he's a professional fighter, man. And when you see these dudes like they're fighting for a living, you know, so they can't take too much time off. Of course, you can have investments and endorsements and all that kind of stuff, but the fat checks is like that fight of the night, performance of the night, all in one, along with the win and the show money, you know. That's how you can get like 4 checks, like, you know, boom, 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 you feel me? So it's just like, I just really hope Bobby and Beneil, of course, they were the losers in the most pivotal fights of the night, the co-main and main event. And I really hope But yeah, man, like both these guys bounce back. And for Jalen Turner, I think he should fight Beneil if Beneil decides to come back. I think Beneil has to fight an up and comer now, a young guy, and on paper, rankings wise, it's a step down in competition for him. Of course, on paper, Armin was a step down in competition, but I mean, still though, any fighter can win any fight when they step inside the cage. You feel me? And yeah, and that's it. And for Armin, I would like to see him get the title shot, but I do think they're going to go with Gaethje. I think they're going to give Gaethje this one last title shot. Depending if he wins or loses, they like that highlight star power, Justin star power. That's one more pay-per-view. That's one more pay-per-view poster they can put him on. You feel me? And yeah, it's facts on another one right there, in the co-main. So yeah, like that'd be one more pay-per-view poster they could use Justin Gaethje on. They want to use that name, and that's it. That's a fight we haven't seen. That is indeed a fresh matchup, Makhachev versus Gaethje. So yeah, man. But how do you feel about it? Closing thoughts on the co-main event?
Yeah, I'd like to just say one more thing about the stoppage because it's important that you see both sides of an argument. Like everyone, obviously, it's a horrible stoppage. You don't like to see someone go out cold. And when he stood up, he couldn't even walk up to Turner. It's sad to see. But at the same time, we have to criticize ourselves because as UFC fans, not me. I'm going to talk, not me. But
no, you're good.
Y'all on Twitter like to do this. You like to complain. Oh, my God, that ref sucks. That was the earliest stoppage I ever seen. And I promise you every single week, pay-per-view or fight night, we're hearing that. That was the earliest stoppage we ever seen. Fire that ref. What is he doing? So now we have a late stoppage because Bobby Green turned onto his stomach and he was hit in the side of the head. Earlier tonight, I don't know which fight it was. Someone was winning the fight. They had ground and pound. Someone rolled onto their stomach. They're throwing punches. The ref continues to let them fight. They get back up and win the fight by knockout. I don't remember what it was. It might have been the fight of the night. It was something. But what do we want to see? Do we want, as soon as someone rolls onto their stomach, to stop the fight? I mean, he wasn't out. He's still defending himself. I didn't want to see him go out cold, but that's exactly why when people say early stoppage, I'm the first person on Twitter saying, did you want that man to go unconscious? Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of the times it's for a title, and people are like, you got to knock out. I don't think it should matter. It should be even for a prelim fighter on their first fight, or it should be Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya part 3 for 2 belts on the line. Bro, the rules should be the same down the line. Pick what you want. Do you want a fighter unconscious or do you want these refs saving them? Now, these refs are human. They understand what we're saying. They're trying to do the right thing every single time. And it's hard. They make mistakes. He's like, come on, man. He's a human being. Like, he didn't want to see. That wasn't intentional. He's not Armin's buddy. That would, like, that little bullshit where Armin followed him on Instagram. Bro, they're in the same business. A lot of fighters probably follow the ref. There's nothing personal.
He followed the ref.
He's probably been following the ref, bro. I bet he's following Herb Dean too, and Dan Margliato, and Jason Herzog, bro. Bro, it's nothing personal. But I just don't like that people every week they're complaining early stoppage, and when we see a late stoppage, now they're crying. It's like you guys got to put yourself in the shoes of the ref. You're complaining about every single stoppage, dude. Mm-hmm. Every single stoppage is an early stoppage. And then when they let the fight go the same way you wanted, okay, now if that happened to Yuri last week, if they let Alex Pereira ground and pound Yuri, man, he lost consciousness. So what makes you okay? It worked against Dominic Reyes. That's one person. Now we're talking about Alex Pereira. He lost consciousness. What makes you think he's just gonna boom, boom? Oh wait, no, bro. Like it doesn't work like that. It's this much of a chance that you can recover from losing consciousness. Right. So that's all I have to say. To pick my picks, Jalen, I got them right here, man. Sorry, I want.
That's so good, man. It's fine. That's fine, man. No, I love the passion, man.
Jalen Turner, I said, I would love to see Gamrot. That'd be cool. Also, for him, I don't know if Gamrot would want to fight down, or Benoit. I think Benoit needs to find a fighter on his come up. So that's probably the best for him, St. Denis. And then for Bobby Green, I mean, Patty would be cool. If you can't find him a fight, give him McKinney.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Terrence McKinney, like,
He'll
so,
fight anybody.
like, he will, of course. But, like, when he was coming up, that's the fight that I wanted him to fight Patty after the Mafrovola knockout. You feel me? Nah, I don't even think it was that one. I forgot which one. It was when he bounced back off losing off the Drew Dober loss. Yeah, no, it was when he lost the Drew Dober fight when he took in on short notice. It was like somewhere around there. I knew, like, because Terrence was on a streak, so they're not going to give him Patty. Like how I said, they're not going to give Patty doing on the 12-5 win streak. Obviously, Terrence wasn't, but anyone that's looking promising with a killer instinct like that, they're not going to put Patty in that danger. I don't think they're going to gamble that money. And I feel him, man. The UFC needs these stars. Like, if Leon beats Colby at UFC 2, no, well, not even, like, because, I mean, they have Tom Aspinall now. So the moment they go over to London for a pay-per-view, that's who they want. Like, Patty on a pay-per-view in London. It's already a pay-per-view.
So you don't like the McKinney matchup?
Oh, no, I do, for sure. I was going to say, like, I was thinking, like, that's what I was saying along that line of thinking, either Terrence McKinney or a Bobby Green. Someone just has, like, good boxing. I want to see his chin get tested. We've seen him hurt over, versus, like, Luigi Vendramini. Not saying not to discount him. I'm saying it, like, we've seen him go through the adversity and, like, survive with the chin. So, like, I really want to see how he would really deal with the power puncher. And
I
man,
think that'd be like a passing of the torch fight, in my opinion, from like the lightweight, king, not like the best fighter in the division, but like the dude who's like, I'll fight anybody, anywhere. Because lightweight doesn't have that. I don't think lightweight has the I'll fight anyone.
Yeah,
anywhere,
Cowboy, but
except for right now, except for Bobby Green. So they need a new guy. I mean, he's getting older. They need a younger dude, So
what's that? A Jim Miller, like Jim Miller, maybe, like, Jim Miller. He's actually he has a fight coming up. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
I'm talking about we need young dudes, man.
Oh, younger? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. Oh, definitely. Because, like, I feel like dudes is trying to, like, be strategic with their careers, especially in the early part.
They can't fight anyone. Bobby can't fight anyone, anywhere, anytime anymore. Now he has to think. That knockout, bro, he lost consciousness in the ring. You gotta take a step back. After
Yeah.
Fight 2 weeks from now on short notice. No way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're gonna move on. But, like, the last thing I did want to see, like, man, like, it was cool for Bobby. It was cool because knowing this whole story, he was like, saying he was homeless and all that, and he went through a lot. And he's talking about, like, some foster stuff, like foster families, and like, I think he was in foster care at one point. And, like, man, it was really cool, like, to see him. Like, I was watching the ceremonial weigh-ins. And he had a bunch of jewelry on, man. He had a bunch of, VVS's. He had his ice on, And it was really cool, man, because I feel like, of course I can't speak for him, but I felt like he probably at one point thought he would never, like, get something like that, man. Like, really make it to that point in life where he really has, like, that much money. I don't know how much UFC pays him per check, but he's a pretty popular fighter. So, I mean, and he's active. So he's definitely getting money for sure. And I think he has a little bit of endorsement money coming in too. So I seen with Bobby, like, it was really cool to see him, like, make it that far, man. Really, not saying he's about to retire now, but really make it this far, because I don't know where he's gonna go from here. That was a bad loss, and it's only gonna get worse from here with fighting these younger guys. It's not gonna get better fighting these younger killers like that. So, yeah, man. But yeah, like, shout out to Bobby Green, and going to the feature battle of the night.
On to the next.
This is crazy, man. I want your opinion first again. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. Now, Figueiredo did exactly what we thought. Did I say a decision? I didn't even pick anything, but I didn't think he was. I remember saying I didn't think he'd knock him out, I thought he was gonna throw some harder hits. I thought he'd get. I don't think he made him wobble or anything, but he just fought a good fight. I mean, he fought a really good fight. They were saying, oh, he's going to be small. He's going to have problems with this, that. I mean, the smaller fighter looked fucking good. Excuse my language. He looked good, bro. Great. I'm just excited because, I mean, this is going to be new Figueiredo. We see now that the weight's not going to be a problem with him. Exactly. The only question now, I mean, they said he was going to be too small. Okay, I'm still worried about Sean O'Malley and Sandhagen. Those dudes are that's a big reach advantage. That's the only worry I have in the division. But right now, it's give me Figueiredo versus anyone. Who is there? I put Peter Yan. We saw a lot of that on Twitter. Everyone's calling for that fight.
That's what I want.
I'm guessing you had the same, right?
That's what I want. It was just the first thing. As he was winning, as I'm watching the third round, and he's just like winning with the elbows. Not because he's taking him down and stuff. Not saying he did that to Jan, but it's just going through my head like I want to see him fight Petr Yan. Like
perfect matchup, bro. They're both like that same frame. They're both technical. They're both not trying to go for a knockout right away. They're gonna fight very technical, and that fight might be like a boring fight, but it's one of those. If you like MMA, it's a good fight. You know?
And they're around the same height, like 5'5", 5'7", and it's
we get a lot of that in bantamweight, though. You know, I've noticed that it's a lot of like, oh, that fight was kind of boring. You know, Merab versus Yan, and like the people say the fights are boring because they're so technical. Aljamain versus Cejudo. People don't think. I thought that was fight of the year. I don't care. That fight was amazing, right? Like, like that level of technicality is beautiful, but a lot of people don't like that. They like knockouts. They like, you know, pick up, slam, knockouts, you know, and you can't blame them. But I mean, technical fights are the best, and I think Yan and Figueiredo could be a main event on a fight night. I would love to see 5 rounds of it, but 3 rounds is nice. I mean, Yan didn't look too good in his last 5-rounder.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, man. Like, I thought he looked good. I thought Figueiredo looked great. Like I mentioned on our previous show, like that's the golden name. Like you know, out of both these dudes, he's the former champion. You feel me? And like, guys, I know y'all hearing me saying that phrase, golden name. Like, I really like respect the champions of the UFC a lot. You know, because so many fighters come and go, like so many. I think they said during the broadcast there's about 600 fighters on the roster. You know, so they let you know, like, and there can only be one champion,
and maybe 15 of them have ever been a champion. Maybe
like
20.
Seriously, like for real, like honestly, like it's really hard to really become the best martial artist in the weight class in the world, you know. So for and that's why you know, for Bruce Buffer, I love it for like, you know, it's like how they did for Miesha Tate. They don't even have to defend the belt as long as, you know, even if they win it, like they get the former champion call for the rest of their life, you know. Like every time they fight, it's a former champion. You feel me? Because you have to recognize that it's winning that. It's really, really, really hard to do, man. Like climbing that ladder of all of those fighters and you're killing these dudes and earning money and fame and fortune on a landscape where you're having to fight these world-class trained like assassins, you feel me? And that's not no exaggeration, no cliche. That's a really hard job, man. So if you're really bringing that belt home every night, that's really hard to do, you feel me? And he won it twice. Of course, it was, you know, the whole Figueiredo Moreno thing, but they 3
times, if you know, but you know, kind of way.
Yeah, right. But still, like,
well, not because didn't he beat Ben Benitez and he didn't get the belt?
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I was thinking some people thought he won the draw and stuff, but yeah, you're right about that though, because he missed weight and he literally would have been a 3-time champion. Indeed, I guess he would have been. And yeah, man. So it's just like, you know, I thought the power translated. He hurt him multiple times. Font had been hurt a lot in prior fights, like the Cheeto fight, in the Aldo fight. You know,
I just thought he'd connect a little more, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I think that's just credited to Font's boxing defense. I think he's just really that good of a boxer, and for him to even still like penetrate through it and really hurt him the way he did, and then like he went to the ground and he was dominating the bigger man on the ground. Like we know grappling advantages nullify height, weight, reach, you feel me? And like it was just really good to see his form, his championship form, just translate. And I kept saying, because we would see him come off the scale at 125, and it's like, man, it's impossible like to do something like that and have to get up and fight the next day. So it's like, man, like in all that energy expended, everything that's necessary for you to try to win the fight, like all that kind of stuff. Like it's really hard, you feel me? And I just thought Figueiredo looked great, man. I thought he looked so good in this fight. He like a champion, man. You like the champion Figueiredo, in my opinion. He's 35 years old, you feel me, at the bantamweight. He was 34 and all that at the flyweight, you feel me? So I think like, at least going up to bantamweight, it's extended his career maybe another 2 years, maybe. At least another really, I think he'll look good for at least another year. At least another year.
He's got another run for the belt.
Like I think he can really and yeah, that too. I think we see him on a pay-per-view again, like in a feature bout or something like that, and like a title eliminator. And like he's a former champion. He's not gonna have to fight, wait around long to get back up there. I think they're gonna like give him a top 5 name. He's gonna fight.
Dana sounded happy about him for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like he was really, he was a marketable champion. Deuce de Guerra means God of War for those that don't know, and that's why he does like the red stripe every time he fights, for Kratos.
Iconic, man.
For Kratos. So, it's really cool, And like I said, this dude's gonna be in the history books forever. More than likely gonna be a future Hall of Famer. So he's a special fighter, therefore, no dick riding, nothing like that. So it's like, it's cool, man. Like it's really cool to see him really step up. For Rob Font, of course, for the loser, we always give the loser the same respect. Yeah, man, like Rob Font, it was a hard fight for him, man. I thought he couldn't really work his jab the way he wanted to. And even if he had the jab, he had to do a little more to gain Figueiredo's respect from trying to walk him down and land those power shots. I really think Figueiredo, and I said he never had a bad chin. It just Brandon broke his orbital, so it's not like he couldn't take a shot or anything. He got dropped at UFC 263. In the second Moreno fight when Brandon became undisputed, but that was the worst weight cut out of all 4 of those title fights, and everyone saw that. Everyone saw he looked like a skeleton. Everyone knew that, So that was a great great performance for Figueiredo in this fight, and for Font, like I was saying, man, I just think he should have came in more with a arsenal. He looked good getting back to his feet, man. You could tell he really worked on the grappling hole a lot, coming off the Sandhagen loss. But I just really think that Font, maybe if he fought a former champion in this fight, man, and the former champion looked like the former champion, you feel me? And that was going to be hard for any of these bantamweights. A lot of these bantamweights, I think Figueiredo beats a lot of these bantamweights. I really think they shouldn't. And yeah, again, he's 35 years old, so I don't think they're going to play with him. I think they're going to throw him right up in the title picture. I think he should fight Petr Yan maybe. If I take a quick look,
would have been a good matchup.
That too, yeah, that really would have been the fight if he wasn't fighting for the belt. You feel me? In my opinion, that really would have been the fight. As I literally open up the app, you feel me? I'm just thinking, man, they're not. I really think he deserves that respect. Merab's fighting Henry. There's rumors of Corey Sandhagen fighting Umar Nurmagomedov again. We saw that there's supposed to be a UFC Saudi Arabia card. I think that's on March 2nd, I believe it's supposed to be. So I feel like that would be the main event of that card more than likely. Try to get Umar in front of those fans. That would still most definitely be a title eliminator. Umar be ranked number 4. It'd be 17-0. Undefeated in just clean undefeated record. Yeah. And I think it's in Nurmagomedov. He's still really young. I think Umar's I think he might have just turned 28 or he's still 27. So that they could throw him up in a belt, in a championship fight. And if he wins the belt, he can have it such a long time and not be like another Nurmagomedov. Man, you can have Islam be a main event and Umar be the co-main event as the bantamweight champion. Like that, 2 title fights. In Abu Dhabi, why wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah. They could do UFC, they do UFC Russia at that point. To be honest.
Speaking of Nurmagomedov, I'd like to say my opponent for Rob Font. How we feeling about Said Nurmagomedov?
Said Nurmagomedov, that'd be good. He
had a great performance at Abu Dhabi.
Exactly, I agree. Absolutely, yes, it was. And
the test for him.
On paper, it's a massive step down. Again, on paper, y'all, it's a massive step down for Rob Font.
What else do you do with it? It's
for sure. I agree. I'm saying I agree. I agree. On paper, it's a massive step down. But I think, when they hop into the fight, that speed advantage for Said would be kind of evident. And Said himself is 30. So if they're going to do anything with him, they got to do it fast, And with Figueiredo, again, he's already won the belt. He's already beat the game. He's just sticking around to still make the money. And he's still good, so he can still compete, So I I think, yeah, they're gonna really throw him up in there in the title picture. You feel me? And again, like, you know, Corey's rumored to have a fight. The only guy in the top 5 not booked again because Marab and Henry, that's not booked yet. But they're, again, everyone knows they're circling each other.
Aljamain pretty much like leaked it the other day too on a podcast with somebody. So
right,
it's official. It's happening.
And Piotr Jan is in the top 5, and he doesn't have he's had a lot of time off. And yeah, man, I think you know that should be the fight. That could be a feature bout on a pay-per-view. Piotr Jan versus Figueiredo. That could literally be
3 rounds.
Like I think it'd be a good 3-rounder. Like that'd be a great 3-round. Like a beautiful feature bout. And yeah, man, you got any closing thoughts on this feature bout or?
Yes. Rob Font, when someone tells you to come to the middle of the ring at the end of the fight when you're losing, don't do it because they're going to take you down and finish the fight by decision. That was so obvious. When Davison walked to the back, he walked back to the middle of the ring, said, come here, and took him down. He played him like a book. Now, obviously that would happen to a lot of people, right? You're trying to win that fight right there. He got played like a book.
Right.
Ending thoughts for that from me.
Yeah, nah, man, like I get it. And again, like just a great performance from a great fighter. Shout out to Rob Font as well, you know, for even, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys, Dana probably came to a lot of these bantamweights asking, hey, will you welcome the former champion of the flyweight division to the bantamweight division? And a lot of these guys said no, but Rob Font said yes, probably with no hesitation, you know, and that's just from the cloth from which he's cut. And I hope he can bounce back, man. You know, shout out to Rob Font. And for Figueiredo, I really, really hope they push him because, you know, I think he can do a lot in the bantamweight division, you know, and he's a pay-per-view fighter. I think Figueiredo belongs on pay-per-views. So, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, man, moving on to this next fight. Yeah, man, I can start out with this one. Yeah, man, that's wrestle. You feel me? Sean Brady looked good, man. He looked good. You feel me? I get it. You know, I get it, y'all. Like, you know, the Bilal fight was what it was. You feel me? I just thought Sean Brady really learned from the mistakes from the Bilal Muhammad fight and really just played no games when standing on the feet. He knew he was coming off a loss, a pretty bad loss at that. He had took a while off since that loss. That was at like UFC 280, you know, that was in October of last year, you know, and like, so he knew he really wanted to take just a lot of time off, correct some things. He didn't slip in the rankings. So then they let you know the UFC know his potential. And then like they let him take the time off. Only certain fighters get that kind of privilege where they can really take time off and not get their ranking stripped, you know, kind of like Yair, you know, like Yair Rodriguez, like he's taken time off before and like they let him keep that number 3, number 4 rank because they know Yair's, you know, marketable and stuff like that. And yeah, man, with Sean Brady, he just looked good, man. Great jiu-jitsu, beautiful transitions on the mat. You know, wherever Kelvin was trying to go, he beat him. There was no real place where Kelvin was really able to work his magic, man. He couldn't really get up to the feet, like at all. And it was kind of unfortunate, you know. I'll only say that because I picked him to win the fight. You feel me? But again, like, you know, all congratulations to Sean Brady. And what's up to my man Paul Tarkington in the motherfucking chat. Shout out to my man Paul. Love you, Paul. Always, fry. Yeah, man, like, yeah, like he did look bad. He did look bad, Paul. I agree. Like, it was just, man, I thought he really would have trained harder for this fight, man. I thought he really would have like really just really known the game plan that Sean Brady was going to come with, like the approach he was going to have. And like, it was just really unfortunate, like the way, like he wasn't able to really stuff any of the takedowns. And like, yeah, man, he couldn't really scramble back to his feet. But all credit to Sean Brady. It was a beautiful performance, you know, for Sean Brady against a former UFC title challenger. And yeah, man, how'd you feel about the performance?
Yeah, he definitely got overwhelmed. It was a, you know, sad fight to watch. You know, it's like, all right, can you get out of this, or are we just gonna? And it makes you question, like, does he think moving to welterweight was a good decision? You know,
yeah, man.
You'll see by my pick. Like, I definitely think there's still more for him in ranked. fights. I don't think he should ever be taken off ranked fights. I know the UFC, Dana and them, they're too smart to know to throw him off the rankings for a fight. He should be a ranked fighter. But man, Sean Brady, I mean, he only has one loss. You can't really judge him by that. A lot of people don't like Bilal. That's kind of why they wanted to downplay Sean Brady so much. But I mean, he looked good in that fight, bro. He looked like a complete UFC fighter, and all you saw was his grappling. But the way he's just hunched over him and just holding him, bro. That's a big welterweight, Kelvin. I mean, I don't care. That's a big welterweight. He cut down weight, but he skyrocketed up in weight. So it's like he was controlling him.
Right.
Yeah. You want me to get into my picks? I got two good ones.
Oh yeah, please do. Please do.
For Sean, I got the Jack Della Maddalena fight. That needs to happen.
It should.
That needs to happen. For Kelvin, I got a Neil Magny Part 2.
Okay.
You like that or not?
Well, yeah. Because Neil Magny's fighting Mike Malott, at UFC 297. The Canada. He's fighting Mike Malott in Canada.
I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good, man. Like I'm thinking for Kelvin, like I think he should stay at welterweight. I think it was just a bad fight, to take, coming in to in the division like that. It was a high ranked fighter. I just didn't see a top 10 fight after this for him. He didn't look good. Mm-hmm. Nah, man. I think he's gonna do a little something to get his confidence back. At least he should, just to get the win, to know he could still win at the division, because these welterweights are going to be faster than these middleweights, they're smaller, but they're going to be faster, and still very, very physically strong for sure, For Kelvin, if I had to think of like a matchup for him, man, like it just really has to be one that, like, I mean, of course, I still think he's a pretty well-rounded fighter, man. I just think like Sean Brady is just like really, really good in terms of the grappling. Like he just that's like his area of expertise, just really, really advanced, But maybe like a Joaquin Buckley for Kelvin Gastelum.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Joaquin Buckley, and that'd be that's a pay-per-view prelim banger. I think
those are two heavy hands, man. They're gonna stand all fight.
And I think it'd be a good striker, for Kelvin to go in there and face. Again, a lot of these guys are gonna be fast regardless. Like Buckley's very fast, in my opinion. But yeah, man, I really think that he can just make that fight competitive. I think that'd be a good fight, for both those guys, Buckley's still getting used to the welterweight division. He's looked good the last two fights. Getting used to the division, especially knocking out Andre Fialho like that. But yeah, man, I think that'd be a good fight, That'd be a good fight. Or like maybe if RDA is staying at welterweight, sure, why not, But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with the first pick, Joaquin Buckley.
I like that pick a lot.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, like my closing thoughts on it. It was just, it was a good performance for Sean Brady, man. He bounced back. Like it was just, you could tell he really locked into the gym this summer. You feel me? And it's really just really grinded his ass off. He wanted to just get the taste out of his mouth. From that bad loss to getting knocked out by Bilal Muhammad, and like it was what it was, you feel me? For Kelvin, he says go back to the drawing board, man. He's still young. He's saying he's turned 32. He's still young, so he can still bounce back. He still has time, man. Like, Neil Magny's still here after the losses he's taken. He's 36, you feel me? And they like Kelvin. He's a former Ultimate Fighter winner, former title challenger. I think they're going to, and he just signed a new contract too. So they're going to I think he'll definitely get another one. But I would like that Joaquin Buckley fight, or maybe Alex Morono or something like that. But yeah, man, we can definitely move on unless you have any
closing remarks. If he would have fought Shavkat,
yeah, no, that would have been crazy. That doesn't go to a decision. You feel me? I don't think that goes to a decision. You feel me? And yeah, man, talking about the last main card fight of the day. Yeah, man. So This is actually a pretty crazy fight. This was a war. I'm not gonna lie. Clay Guida was turning back the clock on Joaquim Silva, and Joaquim Silva almost didn't have an answer for it at one point. With the wrestling, of course he got the takedown defense timing down as the fight progressed, and he really just did a good job at hitting that sprawl up against the cage and keeping his feet plant, working his way back up to his feet. Anytime Clay got him to the ground, he would reverse when Clay would try to take his back. And he had the power advantage on the feet. I thought, but even then, Clay was hurting him too. Clay, you definitely heard, you even heard Dan, DC said, how Guida landed a really good right hand at one point, in the second round. So it was just a really, really good fight, in my opinion. One of the best fights of the night, in my opinion. I really hope these guys got paid. For Joaquim Silva, I think he should just, get another unranked lightweight fight. Maybe fight I was gonna say maybe like a Matt Frivola, maybe. I know Matt Frivola was, just in the rankings. I know he's coming off a pretty bad head kick loss to Benoit Saint Denis. But I think that'd be an entertaining fight. Both guys got power. And yeah, I think both guys would meet in the middle. And I think that'd be a good fight. You feel me? Matt Frivola is still in rank number 14. So that might be kind of sketchy. Giving him a ranked opponent. Especially coming off fight. The Armin loss was what it was. He lost to a good opponent, and he almost hurt. You hurt him a little bit at one point. But even then, going through the rankings, looking for an opponent for Joaquim Silva. He's 34. He's getting up there. For Neto BJJ. But how about I said Thiago Moises, some Brazilian on Brazilian violence.
That'd be cool.
I think Thiago Moises, and for Clay Guida. He's not gonna retire, so I'm not even gonna say that.
But it's you could pick whatever you want, but it's so unlikely. It's just whatever he wants at this point. It's not he's an older fighter. He's not just gonna take some dangerous fight or something. He's not also not gonna jump It's a weird situation. You don't know what they're gonna do.
Nah, you're right. I agree, but I say I totally agree. But I say Carlos Diego Ferreira, CDF, for his next matchup. Right. And how'd you feel about it? The war between the two. Well, I can't say Joaquim's that old compared to a 41-year-old. So
yeah, I thought the age was gonna play more of a factor. He didn't really show weaknesses. It was
he looked good, man. He looked great, fast, athletic.
It was a good fight. It fit the card perfectly. It was just it got us right into the good fights of the night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Big names. That's all I really have to say about it. It's a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-rounders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it was definitely a beautiful fight night card. Closing remarks on this fight night card. It was great. I thought it was awesome, man. Of course, y'all, this had some of the best prelims of all time that we saw. The 2 slams back to back. Zachary's, Jakar Close. I said Zachary. He's the one that got slammed, but Cody Brundage and Jakar Close. And yeah, man, and I hope Joe Selecki's doing good. I wish him speedy recovery, of course. Hopefully he can bounce back. You feel me?
Was Joe the one that got slammed on the side of his face?
Yeah. On the temple. Yeah, that was crazy. That's how he was really, for him to just be holding on like that, and he hit the ground and just let go. He was really knocked out by hitting the canvas. That was so crazy, bro. That's a crazy job to do for a living, man. But it's lit though when they actually on the street.
And DC was saying is this bring any scare to jiu-jitsu and trying to slam?
Because that's a one. Even with the slam on they always say slamming out of an armbar attempt is dangerous because it can slam you deeper into the armbar. So for Jakar Close, it happened just to pay off. He had no way.
Those are luck, man. The knockout slams, they're not going to happen too often.
I was going to say, if that doesn't happen, he might have gotten submitted. You feel me? So he did.
The risk you got to take when you're about to lose the fight.
It was that was pure instinct, and it paid off 100%. And like that was a beautiful performance by Jakar Close. And yeah, man, I hope he just stays active, man. I really hope he didn't take really no damage in that fight. So I hope he can get on one of these pay-per-view cards, maybe UFC 300. You know, we need as many banger fighters on that card as we can get, you know, which I think that's gonna be no problem at all. I think UFC 300 might be a monumental, phenomenal, colossal event. But yeah, was there one prelim you wanted to show love to before we get on out of here?
Damn, that fight of the night was good, but I liked the slam fights were good, bro. They just happened.
They're beautiful.
Obviously, the fight of the night was the best fight on the prelims. The Wellington tournament fight was a little shocking, you know. That kind of threw me off.
So that kind of threw me off. Yeah, no, like I'm all for the comeback. Like I'm all for the comeback. You feel me? That was a great comeback. But not. I mean, it was what it was, man. And hey, like I said, you know, I ain't no hater. I'm from Atlanta. You feel me? You feel me? So I'm sorry, I got a text.
Yeah,
but
you know what's funny about that fight? In the tail of the tape, on one side it was like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. On the other side, it's like from Atlanta, Georgia. You know, it's like, what does that mean? You just call this dude you just show this dude skill, and you're like, oh, he's from Georgia. Like
yeah, to say, hey, man, that's all I need to know.
They just want you to know he's about to throw his damn hands.
Facts, nah, like that's all they needed to know, like dead ass. Yeah, for me, if I had to show love to, I'll probably say the Bellato and Poteria. Dana gave them fight of the night. Dana gave and like, you know, I think he gave out like 8 bonuses. He gave out like $500,000, like $500,000, and fight night bonuses. So it was cool to see Dana be so generous, you know, to his employees. This was a hell of a fight. A beautiful prelim. As they were grappling in the second round, I was like, man, this is happening. I'm like, bro, this is a prelim fight, and we're not even on the main card yet. You feel me? Like the card's going this crazy, and we haven't even made it to what are supposed to literally be the best fights of the night. And it's like, yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. It was lit, man. That was a lot of fun. It was just a really, really fun.
It lived up to the 8.5 we gave it.
Absolutely.
Down in the score.
And that was and that was on paper. You feel me? Post. Since it's in the category of UFC Fight Night, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. There was none I didn't really like. The main event ended in a beautiful finish. There was finishes all on the main card. There was storylines. I love that's like, you know, you don't normally get this amount of normally on fight nights, just dudes trying to work their way up, just, you know, number 12 versus 13 in the co-main event, and like that's it, you know. But for this, like, man, we had a former champion in the feature bout going to a new division, and like, you know, like Armin and Benil, like, you know, that's number 4 versus number 8. Like that could have damn near been a title eliminator, you don't know. And like it was like I love like the storylines. Like if a card, because only pay-per-views have the storylines. You gotta watch the movies to get the storylines. So it's like that's why I love pay-per-views, because the storylines, like 296. I can't wait for us to actually get, like, you know, we have one more fight night. Speaking of, we can actually pull up that card right now. But we have one more fight night until UFC 296. And it's just like, yeah, man, like I'm just really, really, really looking forward to it. It's the Song versus Gutierrez. And yeah, guys, join us for our next show, which will be this week, of course. Join us for our next show. This card,
whichever way it is, right?
Right here. Yeah, this card right here. UFC Fight Night Song versus Gutierrez takes place this Saturday. Main card kicks off at 7 p.m., you know, so I mean, hey, actually not. I think that's the prelim start time. So that might be like, it might be like a pay-per-view fight night, y'all. You know how we've had like, because like, yeah, like there's some and I love fight nights that run late like that, because like, you know, I'll have work on the fight night, so I can at least get off.
This is at the Apex now, right? It was supposed to be in Singapore.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in Shanghai. Yes, it was. It was supposed to be in Shanghai. If you check the the card. It's a lot of fighters of Asian descent, like littered throughout it. You know, they had Song Yudong fighting Gutierrez in the main event, you know, so that definitely showed you it was, you know, supposed to be that kind of a event. And that was going to be a lot of fun, man. I would have really enjoyed that, you know, like the Shanghai crowd. I love it when they went to Singapore. And they just went back for a fight night, UFC Singapore. So, you know, the Korean Zombies card, and like that was an electric fight night, just like the one we just witnessed, you know. And yeah, man, please join us back for our next show when we break down UFC Fight Night, Son versus Gutierrez. And again, man, I know I was talking about 296 before we get out of here. I can't wait because, you know, that's after this one, guys. So I can't wait to get this over with.
Other way.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Yes,
I can't wait to get this over with, you know. Not like in a bad way, y'all, but you know, I'm having like the pay-per-view withdrawals.
Itches, man. Jeez.
Having like pay-per-view withdrawals, you feel me? It's been a little bit since we've had some belts, some gold, you feel me? And like the whole pay-per-view presentation, you know, the countdowns, the press conferences, especially this press conference, 296 is going to be insane, you know, and that's the last card of the year. They always stack it like how they did. What was the Shimmer pay-per-view last year? 282, but 282, like, you know, like that kind of went left, you know, because we lost the main event with Teixeira and Yuri, and then, you know, like Patty, you know, beat Jarrett Gordon, and now there's so much of stuff happening.
Take these off.
Like, yeah, it's like a whole bunch of stuff happened that night, you know, on 282. But this December card is pretty insane. I think 296 has the potential to be an all-time classic card. I think the main event is gonna be super underrated until we get to, better yet, the co-main event. And even then, we can even
Smith and Khalil Roundtree.
This one right here. I was talking about 296, but this co-main event.
My bad.
No, it's fine. This right here, I am interested to see because I know Khalil was supposed to fight Azamat Murzakanov in this co-main event, but now Anthony Smith would just low key like a bigger fight for Khalil Roundtree because like that's a higher ranked opponent. So I'm surprised Smith is taking this on short notice, especially after taking so much damage in the Spann fight. Even though he beat Ryan Spann, he's still like his eye was shut at the end of the fight. Like, he took a lot of damage, you know, and but you know he still pulled it out off, you know, his lion heart. You feel me? So and yeah, man, it's just man. But even then, I was just saying with the co-main event on 296. Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really, really electric rematch. I don't think Royval is gonna make the same mistake that he made in the first fight. And the first fight was like 2 years ago. So he really he needs a Grayson stint on his 3-5 win streak. So I do think the co-main event's gonna steal the show at 296. Everyone's gonna forget about that fight until like
they're walking out and you see that belt.
Like they start making the walk. Like they start making the
Pantoja's climbing on people's back and staying there for 3 minutes. Man, that fight was crazy with Moreno. That fight was crazy.
Yeah, man. Like it was, man. UFC 290. It was like, you know, Brandon Moreno. Even, you know, speaking of Moreno, he's fighting Amir Albazi. It's supposed to be UFC Mexico card. I think that's on February 24th. If you take his Tapology right now, that's official for Brandon Moreno. So he's getting back in there. I guess they did indeed want to go with the new title fight for the flyweight picture. You know, like there hadn't been a new flyweight championship in a very long time. And it's pretty funny because even the new flyweight championship is a rematch. So like, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You feel me? It's just like that. Like that's what happens when you're at the top. And you're fighting these dudes, you know, like, and everyone's competitive with each other. I think Moreno and Royval are gonna fight again at one point and settle that whole like shoulder dislocation controversy and stuff like that. And yeah, man, Brandon's fighting Amir Albazi. That's next for Moreno. And like, yeah, man. So we're gonna see what happens, but of course that's way down the line. Just join us this week for our next show. MMAHOLICS episode 3, when we break down, which will be our UFC Fight Night preview, Son versus Gutierrez. And yeah, but outside of that, you got any closing remarks, Nikki? Or are you good, bro?
That's it, man. I'll see you guys soon. Appreciate everyone coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Follow
Please.
us on Twitter, personal Twitters, and our MMAHOLICS Twitter. Our logo will be coming soon, so stay tuned. And I appreciate you guys.
God bless you guys, and good night. And happy holidays as well. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Of course, this is the last show of the holidays, but hey, they still want to send that holiday cheer, the most wonderful time of the year, like everyone says. And yeah, God bless you guys, and good night. And thank you again for joining us on the second episode of MMAHOLICS. Thank you.